Humbug! What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, and I gotta dig up my Scrooge hat. Tree's there, but I really don't feel like decorating it. Why? Because it's 2020. Who wants to do anything for Christmas this year with the way things have been? Who wants to? Cold one's mandatory tonight. There's actually a mouse over preview that is literally me just doing this over and over again. What a freaking Christmas nonsense. So, the 9-to-5ers snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It should have been an easy last night of the week. But stuck up jockeying for a promotion, manager on duty supervisor, because our manager is on vacation this week, decided he wanted to get greedy with all the work. So night shift has left day shift with the amount of work that we normally have. And instead of a nice, easy, get out early end of a messy holiday season, we're there for a full night. I am beyond disgusted. So, not a good way to go into Christmas, and now guess what? Because it's 2020, of course, we have a big windstorm coming through, so here I was like, you know what, maybe we can try sneaking in some kind of Scrooge movie thing. That would be fitting for 2020, right? Watch a bunch of Scrooge movies with a watch party stream on Twitch, and then it pops up, I get the notice on my phone that Minx was banned for hateful slurs in her stream, and she says, well, I said the word simp, but I didn't know if the new TOS was happening yet. I thought it wasn't happening till January. And I'm like, Twitch, I am done. I'm sick and tired of Twitch being like high school 2.0. I got the Twitch affiliate. Now the question is, what do I do on Twitch versus what do I do on YouTube? And from a more general perspective, what do I stream? What do I make videos about? And what do I make stuff from streams out of? 3 kinds of media going into 2021 on this channel. Videos, streams, and stuff from streams. All 3 of them are going to be distinct. So the videos are going to be moving back towards more of a television-looking format. I want it to look like you're watching TV, a show that somebody cared enough to put together instead of some web series following all of YouTube's SOPs, which don't take into account yet the rise of live streaming. There's still a bit of a problem on YouTube where people are pretending streaming hasn't become a thing. And so everything they do is affected by that. And part of the worn-out, tired formats of YouTube videos that exist nowadays, even as people are being told, make YouTube videos to grow an audience so people actually watch your live streams. You know, even while all that's going on, it's just, enough is enough already. You know, you got to decide what you're doing, where, and what format it's all going to be part of. You just got to decide what's what with what you're doing. So in my case, I decided to draw some lines in the sand. Videos, streams, stuff from streams. 3 genre playlists. Got to make something for videos, specifically. 3 genre playlists at the top of the channel page, and then the series begin afterwards with the main series. And maybe I'll even take series off the main part of the channel page if I don't update them a lot. Like what's going on right now with the radio style series. Don't even know what I want to do with that anymore. It'd be nice if I could talk about stuff there and then do stuff here, like work on things. That's kind of the original plan. With the radio style series, now that I have Twitch affiliate, I could actually sound like a radio station with the commercial breaks and stuff that running ads lets you do, and things along those lines. Like every 30 minutes or so, run ads. But if I do that, I have to contend with Twitch's willful primitiveness, so to speak, when it comes to DMCA. And it's just, all right. One thing at a time here, and for Pete's sake, let's get some music going. Title of the stream is Content Creator Reciprocity. Revenge is not a good reason to do things. That's going to be the overarching umbrella. That's going to be the overarching umbrella as to what it is that we're talking about, because in the long haul, in the long term, you want to be proud of what you're doing because of, you know, building something up constructively. When it comes to people being successful, and, you know, some of the biggest, most successful creators I've seen across all the platforms, mostly YouTube, what I've noticed is that people like James Rolfe with the Angry Video Game Nerd, for example, just keep making stuff. And they're always focused on making stuff, whether he's making a nerd episode or a Let's Play with MultimediaJay, or whether he worked on his feature film at one point for the Nerd movie. So, the Angry Video Game Nerd has a reputation for not getting involved in drama, no matter how much drama the nerd character is causing. It's traditionally been MultimediaJay that has shown up in those kinds of discussions. And now he's a Twitch streamer. Handy that. So... But James, I think, is a very good role model for how to do things right with this stuff. Stay focused on content and not people flipping out about it. So, in light of that, if you are driven by revenge in any way, shape, or form... Hey, I can't see chat. What? How come I can't see a chat window on Live Control Room now? Did that break again? Wow. Get your stuff together, YouTube. Why is it that certain features are turning on and off like this? Wow. This is unacceptable. I'm not playing with that either. Do I really need to do like on Twitch and have a copy of my stream going just so I can see it? Hey, why don't we do that? Twitch mode. Let's just fire up a copy of the stream like it's Twitch. Mute. And we shall see. Chat is enabled, right? Come on, Firefox, let me pop the tab. Ugh, what a joke. You can always... Actually, this does pop out, doesn't it? You could always do something like... Live chat. Be sure to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Is there a way to pop out the chat? Not yet. Yeah. Why don't I actually take a look at that in the settings? Live chat is enabled, which is something weird because it keeps getting disabled whenever I start. I don't know. We'll just run Twitch style. Copy of the stream going and everything with chat in window number 2. Yeah, might as well at this point. We can always disable chat if it gets unruly. So yeah, revenge is a terrible motivator for things. It'll always put you a tier below the people that constructively built something. And you have to remember, too, what makes a troll is that they are focused very heavily on... What makes a troll is if they're focused very heavily on tearing others down. They don't give you good feedback. They just say you suck. Or they mess with you or whatever. They don't actually give you constructive feedback that you can actually work with. They just do personal attacks, they do this, they do that. They just... So, they're not good in terms of you getting better at what it is you're doing because their focus is less on, in any way, helping build people up and basically just tearing people down all the time. So... And this comes back to bite people who are involved with content creation that do this, because when their target is no longer popular to make videos about, they run out of material, and now they get exposed very quickly that they're not really good at making videos. So, because most of the reason why anybody watched them is because of somebody they were making fun of or something like that. So, just the way it is. Hey, let's see if the Discord is working for the YouTube streaming. This is one of those things that kept switching on and off. No! Ha! It's broken! Wow, I am not showing up as currently streaming in any of my Discords because I'm streaming on YouTube. Yikes. Society, da-da-da-da. Am I showing up in this, that, or the other? Da-da-da-da. Yeah, no, I'm not showing up in anything. Ha, we'll have to check that out. Online. Yeah, set a custom stat. Oh, custom status. Interesting. Set a custom status. Streaming on YouTube, baby. No, let's not bother. Let's not bother with that. I gotta get Slobs set up anyways, because Slobs has better integration with YouTube streaming. That means the functionality has broke since the last time I checked that, because it used to be slower, but now as soon as the dial-up modem sound stops. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, revenge, terrible motivator. It's terrible. It's going to put you a tier below, and it's going to give you something in common with trolls, because there's going to be some element of attacking someone else instead of building up something good on your own. And because of that, it affects the way people view you as well. You're the person who, you know, wanted to get back at somebody instead of you built this wonderful thing. So, the bottom line is, somebody did something bad to you, whoop-de-doo. Why should they be part of your story with your success? Even if someone can be like, well, you are where you are because that person got under your skin. There's so many ways in which you can second guess stuff like this. So, also, let's not forget the rebound revenge element of it as well. I don't know how many of you folks have you ever encountered somebody who was in a rebound revenge relationship. Think of it this way. A girl dumps her boyfriend. What the? Now I can't get the volume control to disappear off the screen. Ah, all right, now... Okay, there we go. Good job, Windows 10. You actually faded the thing out after I paused and restarted my own stream and the preview window. So here's the thing. If you've ever known somebody who... Now it's working again. Good job, Windows 10. Alright. If you've ever known somebody who's in a rebound revenge relationship, you'll know what I'm talking about. Think, like, for example, girl dumps her boyfriend or whatever. Suddenly she goes racing into this relationship with another guy ASAP. And next thing you know, she's going on all kinds of dates with the guy. They're going everywhere, and they're taking a bazillion pictures, and they're peppering the living daylights out of social media with pictures. Oh, look, they're in love, they're kissing, you know, it's so amazing, and they're all publicly shared, of course, to snub the ex. Seen it before. And it basically... It kind of hurts the credibility of whether or not it's even real love in the first place. Then the person who's being used finds out they're being used, and that puts a dent in the relationship, and who knows, maybe it doesn't recover, I don't know. But the bottom line is, the lesson to be learned there is it's really not a good idea to throw your better judgment out the window just to get back at somebody. Now, people are going to catch on to that, people are going to roll their eyes at it, and then... You know, when you end up in this loop, so to speak, of bad relationships because of this, then it's like the thing I posted on Twitter. It's something that I'm familiar with. People that have been through a bad situation, like something abusive or whatnot, a lot of times one of the problems you run into with them is they're trying to fix the past through the present, and in doing so, they sabotage their future. Okay, something bad happened to you. That can't be the focus of the entire rest of your life. Especially when there's different people involved, because the different people are not the people that done you wrong however long ago it was. Here's a great example. Suppose I reprised some of my boo-hoo-hoo things I was saying in 2012 or so, 2013, because of the layoffs and not having good jobs and things like that since the layoff period and things along those lines. Let's suppose I want to reprise that. Oh no, someone done me wrong. I got laid off from a very technical job 8 years ago. You know, how ridiculous, how much longer would I really be able to make anything of that without it being ridiculous? You know, I got laid off 8 years ago. Wow! So horrible, right? You know, one of the reasons why this whole revenge talk is something that resonates with me is because, yeah, I did at one point consider doing well with these folks again after the layoffs to be a form of revenge for what happened. Make them sorry they ever laid me off. And it's a very different world than it was way back when, because now we got a situation where it is so, you know, you have so many people that just don't want to work. Anybody who does is worth their weight in gold. A little too much. You've got people that are toxic that are taking advantage of this. Like, well, who are they gonna replace me with? They can't fire me. They can't even stay staffed up. What are they? So they use that as an excuse to treat their coworkers like garbage. So... It's just, if I went on this whole revenge narrative with the 9-to-5ers, like, oh, I got laid off, I'm getting back at him for it, it would have been ridiculous a long time ago. This was 8 years ago. But don't you know who I am? I'm the guy they snubbed. Maybe I am. But that was 8 years ago. You know? Something that we need to talk about, though, with this whole thing is that time marches on whether you like it or not. And yeah, you can make a big deal out of something that happened before, good or bad. You know who I am? I'm the guy that did this back in 2007. But people don't really care what you've done. They care about what you're doing right now. Oh, how dare you talk to me like that? Do you know who I am? I did this, that, I did this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but what are you doing right now? You know? What are you doing? What are you doing now? Okay, you did this way back then? Cool. What are you doing now? Why should I be impressed with what you're doing right now? Because that's what I'm looking at right now. So, March of Time has many numerous effects on things, and one of them is it screws up all your narratives, so you might as well not have them in the first place. You can go on about, oh, this bad thing happened to me, and I've been getting back at it ever since. When? And does it still make any sense for you to have that attitude now? As opposed to just working at building something up. Something good that people will like for years to come. It doesn't have the baggage of, someone did me wrong. Boo hoo 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 hoo. Alright. So last go around I talked about I mentioned this whole reciprocity thing, and what happened last time was I tried to get at some of these points, but I was just so tired. And I was like, why am I so tired? And I take a look and I see, oh yeah, I did 51 hours last week at the 9 to 5, plus we had a snowstorm. Well now, that'll definitely take the wind out of your sails. So this week in particular was just a little too ridiculous with trying to work a lot harder than we had to, given what we went through last week. So I imagine probably after the new year or so, or whatever it is, we can probably expect to see things be a little more civil, at least because the manager will actually be back from his vacation and you won't have these supervisors jockeying for a promotion. Look at me, I could be a manager. How come I'm not a manager? Yeah, well, you can always tell there are reasons why people that are filling in at a role higher than them don't have that role yet. Literally. I mean, supervisors filling in for a manager, you can tell why they're not a manager yet if you get enough experience. Someone who wants to be a supervisor, you can tell why they're not a supervisor yet. Whether it's a trainer or somebody else stepping up to the plate, blah, 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 because the soup's on vacation, da-da-da-da, you can always tell why. There's always little things you can look at that'll tell you the reason why they haven't advanced yet. Just. Right. It's interesting how that works. Alright, so tired out nonsense aside. What other stuff has been going on? Let's see. Oh, look, I have an update. What is this? Oh, yeah, just another person going live. Because YouTube has that kind of stuff. So, content creator reciprocity. So, the whole reciprocity thing is a reference to Clear and Present Danger, a Harrison Ford movie from the 1990s, which is free with ads on Amazon Prime Video right now. It's basically Harrison Ford starring as Jack Ryan, the same Jack Ryan from The Hunt for Red October, the guy who's basically the last honest man in Washington. So, Jack Ryan, last honest man in Washington. So it's a morality tale about what happens when very powerful people let revenge motivate them like that. And I understand where the film is coming from with regards to... So basically, a U.S. president has his friend get killed by a bunch of people who work for a South American drug cartel and then starts a secret war, even while Jack Ryan is telling the Congress that troops are not being sent, blah, blah. It's a giant, like, really dark drama about political stuff. You have to have any kind of, some little interest in U.S. government and how it works to understand some of the movie, but it's based on a Tom Clancy novel, so similar to, you know, Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, and The Sum of All Fears and stuff. But the whole idea here is that revenge is not a good motivator. Now, I talked about this last night, but really I probably should put together some kind of video for something like this to really get the points home and really nail them out. Because this was something where it was a response to a situation involving Ashley Christ, who, by the way, I recently found out is gotta start streaming on Twitch again. Cool. So after she did the video about Twitch tubers that I responded to in my blog and kind of picked apart and things like that. But so let's see, who liked my tweet on that whole... Okay, she actually liked the whole thing with revenge and stuff. Oh, revenge is a powerful motivator. It's done a lot for me. I never rubbed it in anyone's face or shamed them. Well, no. Here's another reason why you don't want to be like this. This whole thing with revenge predisposes you to being the very kind of person that people don't want to watch. in some way, shape, or form. You're going to drive people away by doing this. Because again, we're talking a market here. If you have to choose between a creator with drawbacks and a creator without drawbacks, guess who wins? So this is one of the reasons why I talk about content creator baggage as much as I do, because it just seems like there's a lot of these streamers out there that are taking Twitter way too seriously. It's just updates for update social media. That's it. Twitter does not do a lot of things very well except for quick updates. There is video, which doesn't look as good, and there's live streaming capability, which isn't as good, and there's pictures as well, but that's not as good as pictures social media, where you can use things like albums and stuff to catalog all your graphics. So you got to look at these platforms with a critical eye. What do these platforms do the best? So play to the strengths of every platform you're on by focusing specifically on what the platform does the best. So in the case of Twitter, it's updates, which means you don't want to take it too seriously, or else it's going to turn into YouTube comment section 2.0. And what's one of the pitfalls of the YouTube comment section? It encourages trolling because it's evergreen, just like the rest of the site. So if you post a nasty incendiary comment about a YouTuber, it's going to stick around unless they ban you or they delete it. It's going to stick around longer than, say, a nasty message in Twitch chat, which will be off the screen once enough people talk. So, and people will only see it if they watch the VOD. So it's just one of those things. That's why I applaud YouTube for finally addressing toxic comments through things like hold potentially inappropriate comments for review and some of the other stuff they've been doing, because that represents a technological solution to a people problem. And one where, some of the things that help with Content ID can now apply to creators and what they're putting up with in terms of people flaming them in the comments and stuff. So if some, potentially inappropriate words flag, it gets sent to the same page as stuff that's in spam, potentially spam, and it auto deletes after 60 days. So technically, if you trip the filter, the creator can do absolutely nothing and your comment will be gone either way. So it's an interesting system. But but here's the thing though. I've about had enough of these people that are friendly, helpful, and enjoyable on, making videos or streaming. And then you go to their Twitter and they're like vengeful, angry, cloak and dagger screeching about stuff. Have these people ever looked at themselves to see how they come across to others? What does it look like when you're one way in videos and stuff, and then you go on Twitter and, oh, look, it's a completely different person? Do we really need to have this Jekyll and Hyde thing going on? Like, I can tell you, I'm a multimedia nerd on YouTube, I'm a multimedia nerd on Twitch, I'm a multimedia nerd on Twitter, I'm a multimedia nerd on Instagram, and I'm a multimedia nerd on Imager, and I'm a multimedia nerd on my blog. All of these will reflect some element of me being a multimedia nerd with a bunch of opinions on things, who likes to chime in and really get people's gears turning, because I'm, apparently, according to some people, I'm very good at saying stuff that gets people to think. So I'm not really good at mindless fluff or, small talk or anything like that. But in terms of getting people to think about what it is that I'm saying, whether they like it or hate it, bottom line is I can get people to get the gears turning. So when you have a situation where you're talking about, the way people are and, you're one way here, one way there. I mean, if somebody has to choose between you with your drawbacks and somebody else who doesn't have that, guess who gets the views? And don't forget the algorithm side, like we talked about, the whole thing about trolls not winning by deplatforming you. The algorithms are trying to introduce you to this is another thing I need to make a video about. The algorithms are trying to introduce your audience to your replacement in case something happens to you. So there have been a couple of situations where I watch someone long enough and I get suggested thematically similar people on YouTube and Twitch. Even Twitch has this kind of technology that they're playing around with. I mostly run into this with KIRLs. Let me actually see, and we saw last night another creepy uncle algorithm. Yugi went over Haley's place for Christmas a couple of days ago, and now Twitch is recommending somebody else who went over Haley's place. So, because the place where it was filmed looked the same. Creepy uncle algorithm at its finest. Let me actually go to Twitch right now and look up some things here. See what it's trying to recommend to me. Oh, look. Another late night Oh, okay. So I'm being recommended some gorgeous just chatting streamers. Gee, I wonder if this person late night with lights in her room and stuff is being recommended to me because I watch Nikki Briani, who pretty much she doesn't stream a lot because she's a part-time streamer because she's an actress. But whenever she is streaming, it's always a party. Like, she's one of the happiest, friendliest people, one of the cheeriest people you'll ever see on stream. You need to be cheered up. Her Twitch channel is amazing for that. Sometimes I think she drinks a little in her streams too, but she just like a lot of other successful Twitch streamers, nails down the whole feeling of going over a friend's house for like a party or something. Might not be any video games involved, but this whole idea of like, you know, it's just funny because in 2012 I did that skit about Play Outside Land, where I said, you know, enjoy a world where going over a friend's house wasn't something you did on the internet. Maybe I should have kept my mouth shut, because a lot of these very successful streamers have pretty much gone in that direction here. So I'm mostly looking at people that I'm getting recommended. Oh, okay, check this out. Well, while Ginny is offline, I'm being recommended a cooking stream of some other folks from that part of the world. So yeah, they're recommended smaller communities. Let's see some of these. Ooh, someone playing chess. But yeah, I'm being recommended channels that are thematically similar to stuff that I've watched before, sometimes with graphical stuff and things like that. So there's another person who is doing like a hot tub stream, and there was that one time that Yugi got that hotel room with the hot tub in there as well. So there's all kinds of... I gotta wonder how much metadata indexing and stuff like that are these systems doing on both YouTube and Twitch these days, that things like, for example, people streaming in the same place or the same general layout of how they have like the lights set up in their room or something is something I'm being recommended on here. Or if I watch enough cooking streams, do I start seeing people's cooking streams and things along those lines? So let's see here. I might check out some more of these streamers after the show, whoever's still doing stuff by then. But yeah, technology. That's another reason why I got into discussions in the multimedia meta, because there really isn't a nerd in this category yet. Nobody's really talking. I mean, you can find a lot of people telling you, make YouTube videos to grow your Twitch stream, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you can find a lot of people that'll tell you to do that. How many nerds out there are going to tell you about the algorithm side that you need to, you know, be nice to your audience because, you know, the algorithms are trying to recommend your replacements even as you're trying to amount to something on YouTube and Twitch? It's technology. And it makes perfect business sense for these platforms to do this. What's this? Oh, that's the tag from the neck pillow I have there that's on top of the Christmas cards I got to check out. So, all right, let's talk about what happened with Minx. I don't watch Just a Minx. I think she's a little too wild and a little bizarre. I wonder if it's an act or not with the way she is on her streams. Found out about her because of Austin's show, Lover Host. She's a regular on there, apparently trying to get a boyfriend through the internet. I don't know. So, she's pretty wild, though. So, when I found out she got banned for using the word simp, I was like, wait a minute. Well, the official reason given was hateful slurs on stream, or hateful imagery on stream. So she said, well, I said the word simp, but I didn't think the TOS was in place till January 20th. All right, let's talk about that. So Twitch has so while Twitch has all these problems, with DMCA, being unprofessional, favoritism, not enforcing their discipline properly, depending on how big the streamer is. You know, all these things that need to be fixed with the platform, especially DMCA, being targeted by automated systems run by rights holders, as opposed to, say, Content ID or something like that, where you have, you could say, where the platform runs something that provides a business-friendly alternative to sending takedown notices all the time for certain groups of people, and I think it should be expanded, by the way. So, instead of going after the glaring problems with the platform, what we see from Twitch, priorities, is corporate HR style, oh, we're going to tighten up our harassment policy. Like, if you've ever been privy to a conference call with human resource people where they're bragging about some kind of tougher rules or something, we worked for 3 months to toughen up this policy, blah, 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 blah. If you ever seen something like that, it's kind of what that whole thing with Aurelian and what's-her-face reminded me of, COO, whatever. But here's the thing. There's a lot of people that have chimed in on the supposed simp ban on Twitch. But what I don't hear from anybody is this one scenario. Cut the music. This is too serious to have any kind of music going. All this talk about the whole simp ban on Twitch. The one thing that I haven't heard about is what if Twitch has employees that go rogue? You know, a lot of people have the dots, but they don't connect them. Oh, so Twitch shows favoritism towards larger streamers or girl streamers or whatever, or protected characteristics or whatever. So knowing that, why is it apparently an impossible thing, logical next step, etc., to imagine that a simp ban could be taken all SJW by Twitch staff, who will ban you without batting an eye as a 2-viewer Twitch affiliate while doing their usual favoritism to the bigger streamers? Why is this such a strange concept that no matter what Twitch says, the whole thing with Aaron, aka Aurelian, and what's-her-face, the COO, said one thing, then Twitch on their own Twitter said, no, we don't have a blanket ban on simp. What's to say that any of that even means anything when what matters is what the Twitch staff, Twitch employees do when deciding whether or not to suspend you? That's the issue here. Given Twitch's persistent reputation for being unprofessional and engaging in favoritism, why does anybody think that this simp ban, allegedly, whatever it is in any way, shape, or form second-guessable? Just connect the dots. You get all these people out there, oh, favoritism, they're unprofessional, they favor certain streamers over others. Okay, so why do you think in any way, shape, or form that Twitch can keep their employees in line when it comes to properly, you know, waiting, number one, waiting for that new policy to take effect in January, number two, properly interpreting it and applying it? Why do you think Twitch is capable of that? Especially if you're a little bitty streamer with like barely any viewers. Why do you think Twitch is going to give you a chance at all? Why give Twitch the benefit of the doubt on anything? It's not up to these sound bites. Will have nothing to do with the bureaucracy garbage you're going to go through if you want to try and contest these claims when you're indefinitely suspended for saying simp. Oh, was it right? It wasn't right to do so. Okay, but you're still off the platform and people are not allowed to talk to you per their banned user policy. Yeah. That's a problem with a lot of these people that think about this kind of stuff and try and make commentaries about it. They look at the academic side of it. They don't look at the realistic side of it. It's kind of like a fair use defense. If someone comes after you with DMCA takedowns, yeah, you can claim that. Maybe you're right, but you have to go before a judge in order to prove it. They can decide they disagree with you and take you to court. So how much is that going to cost? Legal fees, travel fees, the whole 9 yards. And do you really want to go through with that? Just because you fair used whatever in one of your YouTube videos or Twitch streams. There's a lot of talk about the academic, the way it should be side of things. Not enough talk about the way things actually are. So, okay, Twitch backpedaled a little after what it certainly looked like in that clip that I'm just going to keep showing whenever I get annoyed and want to show it again. There seemed to be some backpedaling on Twitch's official Twitter. Oh, we haven't banned the word simp. What's to say they might not have some SJW working on trust and safety that bans you for it anyways? And then it's up to you to contest it. And however much bureaucracy is involved in that, meanwhile, you can't stream. As opposed to over on YouTube, where you've got the last Creator Insider video of the year, and Connor's all mellow and professional. So, how come the Twitch people make it look like High School 2.0, but the YouTube people actually make it look like the developments on these platforms are the work of actual adults and not, I can't pull my head out of what life was like when I was 17? Right, we continue. Stop giving platforms a benefit of the doubt. It's what they do specifically that matters. And they make mistakes. What else can we look at in this Twitter? Yeah. We could talk about the narcissists that gave me a hard time. Both of them. Checked out their stuff. Oh, suddenly they're silent. They came out swinging. They came after me with F-bombs and the whole 9 yards. I mentioned, oh yeah, I watched one of your VODs. You look like different people on Twitch than you are on Twitter. Silence. Whoops. Must have struck a nerve, didn't I? Right. So anyways, let's get back to the simp thing. Because of what happened to Minx, I'm not going to bother with that Scrooge-a-thon watch party stream that I want to do. I really don't think I should bother with Twitch at all. There's plenty of YouTube stuff I can be doing. Videos, streams, stuff from streams, administrative stuff, get the channel ready for 2021. Bottom line, if Twitch is going to do stupid stuff, I don't need to be involved with them. And this is where we get to something that I said regarding people complaining about Twitch, that these people are World of Warcraft players 2.0. And what do I mean by that? Well, World of Warcraft players for the longest time have said all kinds of nasty things about their own game. Blizzard can't do this right. Blizzard can't do that right. I hate what they did to this class. I hate what they did with this raid. LFR was a waste of time. Blah, 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 blah. Lots of nasty things about World of Warcraft, and yet they still play it. They never stay away, even if they do leave. So you think about Twitch and what its successful marketing has done to people in terms of distorting how they view streaming, how they view content creation, how they view everything. You think about all of this. And yet, despite all the complaining about favoritism, about DMCA, about this and that, do they ever stop streaming on Twitch? All these people? Granted, in light of the most recent nonsense, I'm actually getting some results when I search YouTube for videos of people quitting Twitch and coming to YouTube to stream. But don't even think about coming to YouTube with the same mindset you had on Twitch. You gotta really rethink everything. You gotta get out of the matrix. Let's think about this from a business perspective. Twitch was the gaming wing of Justin TV, a platform that emphasized the living daylights out of live streaming, continues to emphasize living daylights out of live streaming. Twitch will be biased towards live streaming, even if the meta is going in a different direction, which is why I talk about the multimedia meta in the first place. Yes, I am adapting something from gaming, but the whole general way things are and what to do about things and whatnot, it applies to content creation just as much as it applies to esports or playing some video game or something. That's why the multimedia meta is a thing for me. But think about it for a second. Twitch has deficiencies. Streamers don't want to acknowledge Twitch has deficiencies, so they go peddling all this other garbage over on YouTube. The so-called Twitch tubers thing that thanks Ashney for introducing me to that. Never thought of calling it that, but I think it is kind of a dumb term because, I mean, let's face it, you're pretty much admitting you're not a real YouTuber if you say, Twitch tuber. Really, come on. Learn the history of the platform, respect YouTube for what it is, and understand that there's a reason why there's a different emphasis on streaming on these other platforms as opposed to Twitch. Namely, because these other platforms actually have something besides streaming. They have a robust video feature, they have community interaction and other stuff like that. you know, there's reasons to be here except for what other than watching live streamers. Whereas Twitch just doubled down on live streaming so much. Way too many people have this Twitch streamer mentality, which deserves to be called out because it distorts people's views on content creation all over the place. Really, you know, it deserves to be called out. It distorts your views on things, and it undercuts your ability to do well with other formats, or even on other platforms like YouTube. Enough's enough with this crap. The world isn't Twitch, and Twitch isn't the world. Thank goodness! So, when you come over here, change your attitude, change your mindset, and realize you have bad habits that you need to unlearn. Because Twitch had you la-lying along with their Pied Piper, whatever it is. It's like Neo waking up from the Matrix. Hey, man, you have muscles you've never used before. So... But that's the thing. World of Warcraft players 2.0, the WoW players like Blizzard, blah, 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 blah. And yet, did they ever stop playing WoW? I did. My main game is ESO now. There's a very specific reason for that. I mean, I'm checking out Shadowlands, but in terms of what my favorite MMO is, Elder Scrolls Online, 100%. More of an emphasis on player freedom, devs that aren't thumbing their nose at you over every little thing. You know, better attitudes between players and players versus players, as well as players and the devs. Less of a divide and conquer thing where the players are all lashing out against each other, so the developers never have to be accountable for what they oversee because everyone's too busy fighting with each other to ever actually demand better whatever from the devs. So, but it's the same old thing. Complaining about Blizzard, complaining about Blizzard, complaining about Blizzard. Okay, I'm quitting WoW. You'll be back. And usually they were. Rarely would people actually make a permanent change like what I did. Still checking out Shadowlands just for the heck of it, but if WoW shut down tomorrow, I wouldn't care. I'd be playing ESO, having a blast. So you see with Twitch. People come up with ridiculous reasons to, oh, Twitch. They're snubbing you. You need to acknowledge that. No plan for DMCA. Favoritism. And now we see this with the Minx ban. Oh no, there's no blanket ban on simp. Or, oh yeah, we look at the intent, or we try and figure out if it was a joke, blah blah blah. Oh no, wait, intent doesn't matter. It's if you say certain words, you get discipline automatically, regardless of the intent. Okay? Why do you want to put up with that? I often like to think of content creators as constructive or turbulent. And it should be pretty obvious which one you should want to be. Because the constructive creators continuously make stuff that you enjoy for years. The turbulent creators are always trying to drag you into whatever personal squabble or whatever has got them all worked up. And who wants that? Once again, the deterrent and the reasons to not get involved with this, or whatever, once again, the biggest deterrent to this nonsense is just trying to think of how you come across to others. Watch your own stuff, see what you look like. Always take the other guy into account, basically. Even if they're antagonistic to you. Try and see where they're coming from. Might as well if you want to improve. There's definitely something to be said for being your own worst critic. Because it means you always want to get better at what it is that you do. And you always want to get better and do better. And that's something very well worth pushing towards. For these people that can't seem to keep this baggage out of what they do, why waste your time with them? Especially when the algorithms are trying to introduce you to more people. People who may not have the same drawbacks as the people you left. That's why this matters. That's why the revenge thing matters. That's why the reciprocity thing matters. That's why baggage matters. That's why all of this matters. Because people have choices. And if the choice is between you with drawbacks, somebody else without drawbacks, you lose. So I think we've talked about this long enough. At least we got to talk about things like the weird rebound relationships and stuff that we talked about earlier. So here's what's next. Because it's 2020, we have a windstorm right in time for Christmas. So what this means is I really can't take it easy until after the storm's over and we see if the power gets knocked out. So the chores that are normally done on the weekend now have to be done on Christmas Eve. I'm not going to be going forward with the whole thing with the Scrooge marathon with the watch party thing. I really think it's time for Amazon to put up or shut up when it comes to Twitch. They're known for being a very aggressive company when it comes to managing. They need to do more of that with Twitch. The status quo is untenable. It's uncompetitive. They're behind the 8 ball on technology and a lot of other things. They're DMCA. There's favoritism. There's other things. And at some point, people have to start associating Twitch nonsense with Amazon. And it affects things like, do they want Amazon Prime service or what have you? You know, I've certainly thought about canceling my Prime membership. What do I need Twitch Prime for? I haven't watched much either way, and you know, I've had so many problems with the Amazon vans being unreliable versus UPS and FedEx, and I'm wondering if their internal courier service is even worth it. So, when more people start thinking like what I'm thinking, that, you know, bad stuff on Twitch may make you not want to bother with Amazon Prime, maybe we'll see some action from Amazon. I think Amazon needs to bring down the hammer on their subsidiary or spin it off. Enough with the status quo. Get involved or kiss it goodbye. Because I've about had enough of seeing Twitch just do all this nonsense like this. There's a lot of other people out there that agree with me on this one. Just follow chat on some of these discussions, or Reddit, or Twitter. Plenty of things people are saying about the simp ban and all this other stuff going on. So, let's see here. So for Christmas, we're going to bump up some chores before the storm, and then we'll see what's still working afterwards. But I think a big focus needs to be videos. The finale of the Wacky World of MultimediaJay for Into the 2020s is going to be the final rendition of Geek Out's Dark Mode. And then at the same time, we got to look at things like channel trailers, changing up the formats, and what we're doing with the 3 kinds of content in 2021. Videos, streams, stuff from streams, all of which matter. And I don't want any one of them to really dominate the channel. Yeah, I fooled around with streaming this year. Fun stuff, got my foot in the door with streaming and how streaming works versus how videos work. Now the question is when to use it and for what. And when to, you know, stream live the way a lot of people stream, or do hybrid streaming like what I do most of the time, where the stream doubles as a YouTube video after the fact. Especially with how I sound like a radio guy, so you can make it like watching a radio show or something. But either way, you know what I haven't been doing enough of in the last couple of weeks because of all this nonsense going on? Relaxing. That's what I'm going to do. So, looking at the storm, the worst of the storm is right in time for Christmas morning. Yay, 2020. So, what I'll do is probably try to get up early, do all the laundry and stuff Christmas Eve. Not having the Scrooge-a-thon, as I don't want to be, you know, risking a power outage in the middle of a stream. Plus, Twitch has ticked me off enough with the Minx ban. Just... This is... So that's the plan for that. Let me just say one thing with regards to the Minx ban, as well as, you know, the potential for Twitch staff to go rogue and not go along with, and just, you know, basically bring their personal biases into their disciplinary measures, because they can. There's something that I got to make a video about. One of the many things I got to make videos about with the multimedia meta. And that is when you let your reputation get crowdsourced because of who's in your audience or fan base. The problem with some of what you do is that other people can drag your name through the mud. Even if you know, and you'll have to figure out what to do with that. So, it's what happened to XQC. He had some toxic people in his community, and he thought, big community, 50,000 concurrents, yeah. And then every time he hosted somebody, the toxic people in the community were starting trouble, and he was getting nasty letters from other streamers. So at some point, you got to make that decision. You know, do you want a larger audience? Because obviously, people that would mess with you like that are not going to be part of your fan base. Do you want that larger audience because it gives you bigger numbers, or do you want an audience that's better, even if it's not larger? You got to think about that. You got to consider that. And so in the case of what's going on with Twitch, if somebody gets banned for saying simp in a stream, even though Twitch folks have clarified, the Twitch brass has clarified their position on it, and the Twitch Twitter has clarified there is no blanket ban on simp, that it's based on using it as a certain kind of insult. What's to say that Twitch couldn't have problems keeping their employees in line? They might not have some politically charged SJW type folks working on trust and safety that'll ban people for saying simp, even if it could get them in trouble. See, there's always that element to it that people have to think about here. So you get somebody that's politically charged, they're banning people for saying simp, even if it could get them in trouble. Because what's the little 2-viewer affiliate gonna do with the huge mountain of bureaucracy to get one of those things overturned, if there is one? Just connect the dots. Twitch is already known for engaging in favoritism towards larger streamers. So if you're not one of the large streamers, what's to say you don't end up indefinitely suspended for saying simp? Or something else, with no way of fixing it. So just because big streamers say one thing and Twitch says another and whatnot doesn't mean it still can't happen. There's always possibilities that people aren't thinking of, and this is a great example of that. All right, I haven't done enough relaxing in a very long time, so I'm going to do that right now. It's very healthy to take some time to be part of audiences for other creators, so you don't become so insular and obsessed with your own stuff that the world moves on without you. So I'm going to do that. This is supposed to be some kind of break. We'll definitely work on YouTube videos at my leisure. Those will not be affected as much by if the power goes out, because then we just stop recording and pick things up when the power comes back. Not like, say, if a stream goes down or anything. I think 2021 is going to be a giant year of rebalancing things between videos and streaming. I think the house of cards is falling for Twitch and for the streaming bubble. And we will see streaming become something completely different in the next couple of years, tops, because people are going to realize streaming should be a part of what you do, not what you do. And quite frankly, calling yourself a streamer is doing yourself a disservice because you're limiting yourself when it comes to content creation. Now, if only YouTube would fix some of the goofball things that led people to obsess over streaming in the first place. Check out the channel page of whatever you're viewing this on for links to social medias. I've got Twitter, I've got Twitch, I've got YouTube, I've got a blog, and I'm working on Imgur, and I also have Instagram. Which, gotta figure out what to do with that thing. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Alright, enough random stuff. Until next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.